What is going on, guys? Welcome into Engage 8. Today we're talking a little Thursday night preview between the Cowboys and the Titans. The Cowboys are headed down to Tennessee to play the Tennessee Titans, or what's left of the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are currently sitting at 7-8, and no matter what happens this week between the Jags and the Titans, they're going to be playing in Week 18 for that division title to get into the playoffs, and they're playing like it, because they now have on their ruled out list Ryan Tannehill, who I don't think is coming back this year. I know he had some emergency surgery to get done, but I don't know if he's going to come back in the regular season. Jeffrey Simmons, Nicholas Petit-Frere, Amani Hooker, Bud Dupree, Zach Cunningham, Dylan Cole, and the big guy, Derrick Henry, also doubtful for this game. Doesn't look like he's going to play either, as well as Christian Fulton and Tanico Autry, both very good players in their own right. So they're basically saying if we need you for Week 18, you're not playing this week, especially on a short week. Give them that full 2 weeks rest. What are your thoughts on the Titans doing this and, what that means for them moving forward? It also looks like Malik Willis isn't going to be playing. It's going to be Josh Dobbs starting at quarterback, was former Steelers, I believe, third-round pick, signed with them 8 days ago. So he's going to be starting tonight. So what are your thoughts on that?
I kind of love it. When the line has shifted now where it's 13.5, Dallas by 13.5, I was like, okay, well, with Malik Willis in, I think Dallas against a rookie quarterback continues what they've been doing. I think they're going to pretty much, beat the brakes off them. Now I kind of like the Titans because Josh Dobbs played at Tennessee, and this is kind of like a homecoming for him and getting a start. Maybe it sparks something. Nobody thinks they have a chance in this game. I don't know. NFL does some weird, fishy things, so we'll see what happens. But it looks like they're just basically. It looks like Tennessee's trying to throw this game and just be like, we don't even care what happens. And you wonder, is it going to set the blueprint for the Jags? Against the Texans this week, are we going to see everybody rest on the Jags? Trevor Lawrence maybe take a break. ETN maybe take a break. Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, Alvin Ingram, everybody. Do they just all rest all their starters now because now their game is going to be meaningless? So I have ETN. I have Alvin Ingram. I'm worried about my fantasy rosters, as a lot of people I know are. Like you talked about, Derrick Henry, Pollard, both out tonight. That is huge for some fantasy rosters out there. But yeah, I wonder how this is going, what kind of precedent this is going to set, not only for this week with the Jags, but then looking ahead into Week 18 with how many starters you're going to rest because of the injury risk.
Yeah, I think for sure this is going to be kind of a blueprint for what the Jags are going to do. It's a little different because I don't really know how this scenario works, just because they would go it off of head-to-head matchup, and I'm pretty sure Jacksonville won the first game, so even if Tennessee won, it would be even. I guess after the second tiebreakers, then they would get in with the win. So, let's say Tennessee loses tonight, which it seems like they're going to. That doesn't really affect Jacksonville at all. So maybe they do just end up sitting their starters anyway, just to keep everybody healthy, because next week is the only game that matters for either team moving forward. And honestly, I like it for the Titans, because even if you don't, let's say you lose this game, because that's what it seems like, and then you're either going to win and get into the playoffs at 8-9, which is weird. I hate that. I think it should be like the NBA, where it's the best 7 teams,
We're gonna have
the
two
best 8
teams.
teams. Yeah, and
You're
the
gonna have
Bucks,
two
the Bucks and the
under
NFC are going to
500.
be the same way.
Don't count out the Panthers.
Or the Saints, for that matter. They're technically not eliminated. But you're going to either make the playoffs or you're going to lose, and you're going to be 7-10, which if you look at the draft order right now, there are 9 teams sitting at 7-8 right now. So there's going to be a lot of movement in that 10 to 20 range in the draft. And if the Titans can move towards the top 10, especially with a 7-10 record, they could definitely be in the 11 through 13 type of range. That's very good for a team that has a lot of holes on this offense. And they're the powerhouse of this offense is at running back, and it gets a year older every year. And we haven't seen enough from Malik Willis to confidently say, he's the guy. Don't count this team out if they're looking at C.J. Stroud or Will Levis or something like that, if they really want to make that move. Because, you look at Tannehill, they've done this thing a couple years in a row now, and they've just flamed out in the playoffs. They run into a team that can outscore them and force Tannehill to make mistakes, and they're just probably going to realize that, maybe he's not the guy that they want if they're trying to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it's a good point that you make, talking about the draft, because it's if we were to lose the Week 18 game if you're the Titans against the Jags, or if you're Jags against the Titans, why screw ourselves out of a couple picks in the draft by just winning this game in Week 17? That means nothing. Why not lose this, make our draft pick a little bit better. If we do lose, then we get even that much more of a better draft pick. But if we win, then we're in the playoffs. So it's kind of a, you're looking at saving, like I said, saving yourself a couple picks against maybe teams like the Lions and the Packers and the Patriots, those type of teams that are right there with the same, almost the same exact record as yourself. Raiders, I think, are in there too. Steelers are in there. So it's kind of a good management strategy. It's just for the whole NFL brand, it looks so freaking bad to be doing this. Week 18, it's a little bit more acceptable, but in week 17, especially in prime time, the NFL wants these games to be competitive, and this is a bad look. But this is, I texted a couple of my buddies and said, this is a microcosm of what Thursday night football games are.
Yeah. And, I mean, talent. I'd rather watch this game because at least there's one team with a lot of talent on the other side of the ball. Let's switch over to Dallas real quick. They're sitting at 11-4. They beat the Eagles last week. Big win, big confidence win, really. I know that they're playing against Gardner Minshew, but that's a division rival, was the best team in the league record-wise, and still are. They're in a position where they're pretty much locked into that 5 spot. They can't go lower than 5. The only way they can jump the Eagles, I believe, is if the Eagles lose out, the Cowboys win out, and some tiebreakers stay the same, because technically the Eagles have not clinched the division at this point in time. So I think that we talked about Tony Pollard being inactive. I don't think it's crazy for them to just say, you know what, I'd rather have Dak Prescott and Zeke and all these guys healthy as well, because, let's say you lose a guy like that, that really hampers your ability heading into next week. And you've got a game against Tampa Bay in the divisional round. Let's say they stay at 5. That, I mean, if I'm Dallas, I'm not worried about Tampa Bay right now. The way that they look.
There is still a guy on the other sideline.
Oh,
no,
I know.
To worry about, and it is, you're a team that plays in a dome in Dallas, and you're going to be going outside. I know it's still Tampa and it's Florida and it's nice weather, but the conditions are different, so you do worry about that. Once again, what kind of press? This game is, in my opinion, huge for what we're going to see across the general landscape of the NFL for not just this year, but into next year and years beyond, of how many weeks early our team's going to start resting their players. Because this is a great situation where it's like, yeah, Dallas technically has a shot to go for the 1 seed and get the Eagles, but they can't go down past the 5 spot. Like, they can't go to 6 or 7. So they're either going to be in the 5 spot or a crazy long shot they get the 1 seed, or maybe the 2 seed if the Vikings were to do something. But really and truly, you're probably going to be looking at that 5 seed. So, yeah, this week and next week is kind of meaningless to Dallas. I know you want to win this game just to give yourself a realistic shot. If you're up 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, pull them. Pull them. I don't know if Dak and the starters, Dak, Zeke, CD, those guys on the offensive side especially, I don't know if they're going to play in this fourth quarter. I do think that McCarthy will send them out at least for the first half. But this could be like a preseason game. It really could tonight.
And we saw it at the beginning of the year. Cooper Rush could probably still win this game against this Titans roster that they're running out. I mean, they have the quarterback advantage if they roll Cooper Rush out. I like Josh Dobbs as much as the next guy, but it's going to be really interesting to see what they do tonight. But that's about our time. We're up to 8 minutes and 30 seconds, so let's try and get this out of here before that 9 shows up. We can't have that here. So... real quickly though, Cowboys-Titans, who you got tonight? Against the spread, I know that the Cowboys seem pretty good at money line.
Yeah, I'm going to take Titans against the spread. I'd try to buy that half point up to 14, but if it comes to push to shove and it's only 13.5, give me Titans.
All right, well, that's going to be it for us. We're going to get on out of here. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe. We're out. Peace.